We've got another episode of TAAP for you, and of course that's with two A's. We are the American Armory Podcast. You can find us on YouTube and Rumble. I'm Chad.
I'm Michael.
And today we're going to do a first look.
We are.
Yeah, going to take a look at a new little pew-pew that joined the family.
Yep. Well, you got a bouncing baby girl here?
Bouncing baby Canik.
All right.
This is, upside down.
What am I doing here? That's horrible angle.
There.
All right.
This is the Canik Mete MC9.
Oh, look at that. I'm going to spin this just because the Canik is going to be the, it's right in here
It's going to be
somewhere.
the star of the show.
It is. So, look at that.
So I will tell you my first thing when I saw this that I really liked is you get a ton of accessories and tools. It's not the, here's your firearm in a cardboard box and go have fun. They give you everything you need for it.
Well, let's see. What are these?
Those are little back straps. So if you have a larger or smaller hand, you can replace that back strap and have that grip be just a little bit larger or a little bit smaller so it seats into your hand a lot better.
Oh, that's kind of cool. Well, I don't see that on most other guns.
No. And if they do have it, you pay extra for it. It's something that you
like
order
a
after the
little
fact.
Cleaning kit, it looks
Yeah.
like.
Yeah, for your swabs and your bristle brush there.
Yep, a screwdriver. Really? Oh, yeah, that's kind of cool. You see that? See that point? See that? That's pretty cool. So you got a little screwdriver.
Yes.
That's heavy.
Is it?
That's not a...
Yeah, that's not a light. And for the size of it, it's heavier than what you would think.
Yeah, I didn't expect how to be that so solid.
Right.
I guess
I
solid
think that's a
would be
better
the
word
question.
for it.
Solid, yeah. What
And
the
then
heck is
and
this?
then you get the mini Canik.
What is this? I'll move this out of the way. What is that?
That's your mini Canik.
So you get two?
Yeah, you get the two of them. You get the mini toy Canik and the real big boy Canik.
So you get a double tap.
Double tap, exactly. You can go both guns blazing. Actually, what this is, and
Here, I'll open it
yeah,
up.
if you want to
Can
open it up.
The bottom up here.
Yep.
Oh, it has a little arrow there. A little arrow to slide out. Oh.
This is a tool for working on your Canik.
Oh, so you got screws. You got some stuff there. Wow, those are pretty... Wait a minute. Hold on. Hold on a minute.
And the
Oh,
barrel
no,
is where you seat it.
You're kidding me. That's a thing it does? It's a screwdriver thing.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, damn, Canik. Why don't you come out swinging here? That is pretty cool. So these little screwdriver pieces fit in here. So you can put it in the end of the barrel. And then you could go twist and do everything. That is pretty cool.
And they make it fun, too. It's not just a screwdriver.
Yeah, yeah. I like that. I like that. Canik, so far so good. So far so good. I'm going to throw all this stuff back in there.
Yep.
All right. Pull that up there. I forget something?
No, you got
All right. So that's the tools.
Yep, and then of course they give you all of your manuals and paperwork. If you want to.
Yeah, let's see here. There it is. That's what we're doing. So this is called the Meta 9.
Yeah, the
The
MC9.
MC9? Okay. Look at that.
Give you nice color pictures on. That's not just thin paper. That's a decent cardstock there with.
Yeah. There's assembly and disassembly. That's pretty cool. Oh, look at that little... We love warnings.
Yes.
We love warnings. So that has all kinds of cool stuff. All right. All right, pretty cool.
Yeah.
So, and of course they have their little advertisement there. You can never go wrong with some advertisement. But, wow, now this... So I'm going to flip through this page here. See, look at that. That's pretty good manual.
Yeah. I think if you have any knowledge of pew-pews, you can probably use that manual and do whatever you need to with your Canik. It's not like something's going to be a surprise, I don't think.
All right, you ready for the?
So let's get to the reason I went out and bought this.
Because of the case.
Well, yeah, the case and the back straps and the little tiny pew pew. That was the main reason I bought it. But you know, it came with this as well, so I thought.
Let me slide that over to the camera there.
A little bit of a bargain there, so why not?
So that's pretty cool there. So I see, I'm going to turn this sideways so you got to get the whole thing. So you have my extra magazine here.
Yep.
So there's a magazine in here, holster. What is this? Is this
Little speed loader.
little speed loader? Help you load faster. That's pretty cool. I know Glock comes with one of these too, but not every manufacturer keeps that. So that's kind of cool there.
Yeah, kind of one of those nice hidden things that they include with that.
All right, that's pretty cool. A holster. Most of them don't come with a holster. I'll be honest with you.
And this has been tinkered with just a little bit. The the standard mag that's in it right now, just comes with a flat base plate. But it does have the base plate extender there that we went ahead and installed just because need space for the pinky finger.
All right. So let's get this back over. This is your baby, so why don't we see what we got here?
So I will tell you, I was not expecting a lot out of that holster. I figure it's something that they're giving you with it. It's going to be kind of a throwaway type thing. That is actually a nice holster. It's more comfortable than I was expecting. It is a nice fit. It holds it snugly, wraps around your belt real nice and gets nice and secure.
Has tightening screws in there as well, so
as you can adjust that tension.
Yeah, that's pretty cool. Not all, my holster doesn't have that, so that's kind of cool. All right.
Go ahead and drop the mag and ensure we're safe, which we are. We'll do it for you there as well. If you can see, there's nothing in there. So, the thing that I really like about this one, I like the feel. I'm going to put this back in just so I can get an actual feel. The grip texture on this is rugged but not uncomfortable. And they even give you the grip texture around the front there. We'll get it up so you can see. Right in there, that is all grip texture as well. Let you take a hold of it.
I'm clear.
It is real grippy.
Yeah, that's kind of cool that it's grippy. For those, I guess the best way to explain it, it almost feels like almost like it's wrapped in sandpaper, or any of you skateboarders out there, grip tape. That's kind of what it feels like. Now it's on the firearm, and it's also, I'm gonna drop the magazine. They actually have a little bit of it on the grip tape, so
you
just
can
around
probably
the
see
side.
it better on the larger magazine. Now, with the magazines, it comes with that holds 12. This one holds 15, and this one you can actually see the grip a little bit better there on the sides and the front. And it's super grippy, but it's not something that feels like it's going to irritate your hands.
So, sorry, California. 10-round magazines for you, so you don't get the fun stuff.
Yep.
Sorry about that. Not really sorry, but all right,
So,
pretty cool. Let me put this on the camera there. So that's what it is. That's what it looks like there.
And then a couple other things about this that I really like before we start getting into some of the more intricate features is it does have a little rail there if you want to attach a light, laser, anything like that. So it comes ready to do that. And it also comes ready for optics. It has a optics plate that you can take off there and attach an optic if you want a holographic optic on there, or a red dot.
Yep, there's the two screws that unscrew, and it's a plate that just pops right off, and you can put a new plate on there with the optics in there.
Yep.
So if you want to run a scope, I'm sure you can run a scope.
Well, I don't know that I'd put a scope on something that short, but
your scope might be longer than the gun.
Yeah, because that is a 3.18 inch barrel, so it's a a short barrel on that.
Yeah, but if you want to put ghost officer, you want to put, you know, red dot, green dot, whatever.
Little holographic sight on there to give you a better picture image.
Okay.
So.
Oh, look at that. There's a load indicator.
That's a charged indicator.
Oh, charge indicator.
Yep. So.
Oh,
if
charging.
you
Yeah.
go ahead and point it in a safe direction and give that trigger a gentle pull.
Okay. This is not how I hold a firearm, but I'm holding it so I can see. Here it is, and I'm not even going to point this at my leg. I don't want to. Ready for this? We're going. Oh, and it's gone. Look at that. That's pretty cool.
So
hold on a minute. I'm going to charge this. I'm in a safe direction. Ooh, I like that trigger pull.
It's got a very nice trigger pull. I'm guessing it's right about 3.5 pounds. It's not a heavy pull to it.
No, not a heavy pull. It doesn't catch either.
No.
It's a very nice small.
You kind of get to that
pull.
wall, and then there's an instant break.
Okay.
And which, to me, especially something with that short of a barrel and not overly heavy, because that's not a very heavy firearm there. And that's going to help with your trigger control, with your aiming and hitting where you want to put it, because you're not putting extra pressure on trying to get that trigger break.
Right. You don't get that like sudden jerk
Right.
that you get in some other firearms. Yeah. That's really good for a new shooter, I think.
Yeah, I definitely think so.
Okay.
Now, I wouldn't recommend this one for a new shooter necessarily, because it is a little bit snappy. Just because it's got such a short barrel.
It's a 9mm, right?
Yes.
Because of the short barrel, and that's what a lot of people need to understand is when you're dealing with a firearm like this one, that shorter the barrel, the snappier it's going to be. You've heard me talk about Derringers in the past. Derringers, there's not a lot of grip on there. They get really snappy, and it could snap out of your hand really quick.
Mm-hmm.
This one, I guess the shorter those barrels, it can kind of kick back a little bit on you.
Yeah, it'll get a little snappy. Now, what I would recommend, since we're kind of talking about new shooters, is if you are someone that's a new shooter and you like the Canik, I will tell you I've looked at several Caniks. This trigger is pretty much the same in every Canik, so get a full-size version of it. Learn with that, and then if you want to go down to something that's better for a concealed carry situation, this I think is going to be a phenomenal choice.
All right.
Something else that it does have, and it may be difficult to see, and I'm not going to chamber around so that you can see it better, is right there, just above where the slide is, or where the chamber is, there's a little notch. That is your round chambered indicator.
I'm gonna put it on the other.
Yeah, put it on the other one, and we can probably.
So.
Here, hold on. We'll.
Let me pull it up there.
Use the handy dandy pen here for. It is wrong way. Right here, this little bar, right in there, is going to be your indicator. When there's a round chambered, it will pop up just a little bit.
Yep, right where my thumb is, just on the inside. That's where it is. So it'll pop up and it'll give you a little indicator that. And I can manipulate it here, so I'm pushing on it a little bit just so I could like pop up a little bit. That's kind of nice. That's not done on. Not every firearm has a load indicator there. Mm-hmm. So
and that's another reason why I think the Canik line is really good for a new shooter, just because of all these different little features they build in that let you know you've got a round in the chamber. Your weapon is charged and hot.
So I think this would be fine for a new shooter. I just think for a new shooter, when you're thinking about it, you got to understand shorter barrel, which means less weight, means it's going to kick a little bit. So when you shoot, you're getting a little bit of kick here. That's why one of the first things that you want to learn when you're shooting a firearm is how to grip the firearm properly. And that's when you don't want to just come in here and just kind of like just do it that way and just, okay, I'm holding the firearm. You almost want to come at it where you want to get it in there and kind of dig into it and get a hold of it, okay? Really get a hold of it, and then you want to, so I'm going to come behind you here, Chad. So when you do it, so you have this, you come in, you want to grab a hold. Get those fingers in the front, wrap around, and get a good grip on it. Now, that also doesn't mean you need to do a death grip, but you want to really get a good hold of it.
Yeah,
So,
you don't want it to be wobbly. You don't want to limp wrist it when you're firing, because if you're limp wristing, it is going to be even more snappy.
oh yeah.
But yeah, it's got some nice wells in here. If you want to go to the other camera, it's got some nice thumb wells on either side. So
Ambidextrous.
yep,
That's
ambidextrous. The mag release is not ambidextrous. The mag release is only the one side. I don't know if you can flip
see.
that or not.
You can. You can flip it.
Okay, so you can make it ambidextrous.
Yeah. You're going to have to take it to a gunsmith if you want it to be moved to the other side. I believe a gunsmith would be able to do that. I believe you might have to push it in, and then there's like a little spring that you have to do it, and then you can switch through. So I believe a qualified gunsmith can turn that around for you if you like. Sorry, left-handed shooters, guns are just not really designed for you. Sorry. That's just the way it is.
Majority of the population's right-handed. They're going to design it for the majority of the people that are right-handed, or the majority of the people out there.
Yeah, so if you're left-handed, that brass is going to come out to you. So if you're a left-handed shooter, just kind of, you're going to have to learn. Sorry.
Yep. Now, and let's go back to this trigger, because I do like this trigger pull. And again, we're in a safe direction. And right there, you hit the wall. So it's got a little bit of play, you hit the wall, and then hardly any pressure, and it breaks.
But that wall is not it's not like you hit the wall and stop.
No, it's not like a revolver wall, and I just want to get the reset on it.
Yeah. Oh, yep.
It's got a short reset on there. So we'll go again and break.
Damn.
I hardly move my finger back at all. So
Yeah.
what that tells me is if you wanted to fire this fast, you could, because there's, go ahead and give it a,
I'm going to simulate I'm left-handed because that's the best way. Yeah, I like that. I'm going to hold it. Go through. Rack. So I'm still on the trigger. So it reset. Semi-automatic. It will not pull. Even if it racks back and forth, even if I don't let go of the trigger, it's not going to fire another round. So just keep that in mind. And you can totally feel when that goes through.
you can feel it, and it doesn't take much to move it back to that reset point.
Yeah.
So I think they did a fabulous job as far as their trigger assembly in making it nice, smooth. It's light, but it's not too light.
Yeah.
And then a quick reset.
Yeah, that's not too bad. So that I really do like that. That's pretty cool. It looks like it's typical teardown that you would find with most of your Glocks, Smith and Wessons, and other things. I see how that is.
Your standard semi-auto teardown.
Yep. Have you torn it down yet?
Just a quick field strip. Just take a look.
Okay.
If you want to pop it open, you can. You can pop the hood on it.
All right. We're gonna pop the hood on this. Let's see. You ready?
Go to the presentation.
There it is. All right. You ready? Oh, that's tight. There, field stripped it. So it doesn't take that long.
No.
Especially when someone knows what they're doing.
And Mike's done that more than once or twice.
Probably more than once and twice. I will tell you, that's the first time I field stripped a gun with a magazine in there. I kind of want to test it to see what it was going to do. Some guns will cap and will not let you go.
Won't let you take the slide off with a mag in there?
Yep. Some of them don't, but that will happen. I wanted to see how this one does. That's what it looks like torn apart. So that's it. You got now barrel. This is the barrel. Okay.
Like I said, really small barrel.
Now see this square part that you see at the end. That square part, right there. That is where the bullet sits. That's where your live round sits. So the barrel is really this round tube. That's it. That's not very much. This is your upper slide, so that's what you're looking at right there. Now you have your inner workings there, and this is back here is going to be your gear for the firing pin. Your firing pin actually is all the way up to here, but this is kind of the motion that will make it go through. And then you have, when I pull the trigger, you see how that moves all out? That's what's causing all this to go through. So, not bad. So, let me
What's that other piece that you didn't mention? Just for the
Oh,
people that are unaware.
so this is a spring. This is what makes it, work. This right there. This is where your barrel is on the big hole there, and then the spring actually will sit right there. So I just covered up one of those holes. That's where the spring sits. So, and that spring is what's going to cause the Canik to work. So that spring is kind of pushes everything to make it, that slide going back and forth. So
When you fire a round down it, that top slide rocks back and that spring pushes it back into place and chambers another round for you.
So I'm going to throw it back together. So I'm going to throw the barrel back in there. So that barrel snaps in there. Now this spring here is this what we're talking about. That end goes this way. So the bigger end normally goes out. And then it should you have to push it in to snap it right in there.
Put a little tension on
A
it.
little tension in there. And then you will, I've never done this upside down. So pardon me for...
No, I think they're a half on when you attach it.
Is it?
I think so.
Okay. So
Depending on the firearm, some of them you start from the front and slide it all the way back. Others you put it partially on and then attach it.
oh yeah, I see how this works now. So the reason it has to be partially on is because that butt plate will cause problems there. So that's what's going to cause it to not go through. So, all right. Let me see if I can fix this now.
We're going to take a brief pause for a moment when we get the Canik put back in place.
Yep.
And we're back. Problem solved.
All right.
So the Canik's a little bit different. You want to
Yep.
explain, Michael?
Yeah, let's go back over to the camera here. So what happens is I started to slide all the way over here.
Like
So,
it was a Glock.
kind of like it was a Glock. With a Canik, you actually have to get it lined up like that.
Just about
And
half an
then-
inch from the back is where
Right.
the slide is.
Now, I'm going to show you the reason why, okay? The reason why, and because it only slides to about there and comes off. All this equipment is up, and that butt plate, it won't slide because all that stuff is higher. It's lower, it's kind of a different profile than a Glock. Now, I'm used to a Glock.
And I want to
So-
tell you, I think the reason they maybe did that is because this does have a pretty low bore axis when you're holding it.
Yep, and I'm going to, as an example.
Go ahead.
No, go ahead, put it right there.
Okay. When you're holding it, your bore axis is saying there's not a lot there. You got a lot of other firearms where there's a big bunch of real estate above your finger there when you're holding it. So I think that's why they had to do it that way, is they wanted to keep that bore axis as low as possible.
So, because that happened, I went down and grabbed one of my Glocks. This is one of my Glocks. This is one of my pieces. You can see it's unloaded, completely unloaded. In fact, I don't even have a magazine for it because I just grabbed it out of the safe. So, when I'm unloading this, you do have to pull the trigger, and it's kind of the same scenario. It's off. Same equipment is in there. So, you have the spring, the barrels under there, and all that stuff. However, when I slide this on, you start, like I said, I can't do it upside down. You start all the way here, and if you notice, Glock slides all the way over. The rear plate right there, if you can see that, that plate is designed to make that happen. So once that's all over there, you're good. So that's, I guess, the big difference. Now, there's also a bigger, you can tell the size difference there too. This is a lot smaller.
Mm-hmm. And that's made for a concealed carry. That's its purpose, is to hide it away.
This one really isn't really. I mean, I guess you could conceal carry conceal carry this if you're a big person or you like a bigger firearm. Don't get
It's
me
the
wrong.
winter, you got a heavy coat on.
Yeah, I've concealed carry this, but I prefer something smaller. So just kind of go through kind of what happened as far as I treated this like a Glock, and I will tell you, it's very, very minuscule that slide moves on and pulls up. Um,
Again, as we were talking about, I think once you get used to where that point is,
yeah,
this is like butter.
it is. I'm sorry, Canik. That is the one thing I don't like.
Well, and it's because a lot of us are used to the Glock. I mean,
Glock,
there's a reason. Well, it's the number one firearm.
Ruger,
Yeah, well, Glock is
Smith
the
and
number one
Wesson.
selling firearm in the world. So, and when it comes to handguns,
I have to give Canik. I do have to give you credit. It's not the same. So you said I'm not going to be like all the others and do something different. I can appreciate that, but from a guy who, if I'm going to have to take apart, several different guns, that's where I'm going to run the problem with. If this is the only gun you own, or you only own Caniks and you have the same deal, great, that's for you. That's my only negative that I have on it.
or you set aside, if you have several Caniks, you set aside a day for Caniks, so you know this is going to be this way every time I clean it.
Yeah, that's true.
So your first impressions overall.
I like the size. I like the look. I like the trigger pull. The trigger pull is quite a bit different than a little bit of a Glock.
If you have a Glock, a stock trigger in a Glock, that's the one place that Glock needs to improve. They've needed to improve for years. I do not like their trigger pull. They're not nearly as smooth as other firearms.
Yeah.
In fact, that's going to be a project one of these days. I'm going to get new triggers for my Glocks and
Yeah.
drop new triggers in all of them.
And that's fun to do. Overall, I was all on board until I tore it apart.
You tore it apart and you said, "Wait, it doesn't work like a Glock."
Every firearm I've torn apart has that full slide all the way. Now I hate Ruger, because Ruger you had to put your finger in the trigger to move on some of their models, and I don't like that. I don't know. If that's my only negative, that's a problem. Now I will tell you, it got stuck on the trigger, on the internal trigger mechanism, and I had to stop and look and see where it was caught. Once I realized it was caught just on the trigger, what I had to do is I had to hold the slide forward and then pull the trigger, and then it slid out. It wasn't that it was oh my god, I got to take this in now. It wasn't now I can never use it or anything like that. It was just a spot that got a little caught, and it took a little wiggling.
Yeah, just a little wiggling, a little investigating, which that's to me that's also part of fun with firearms. Is sometimes you have to look at things from a different angle and say what caused this, and
yeah. So I'm almost glad that kind of happened.
Yeah, it was a learning experience for both of us.
This is what you get for a first look. Anybody that goes out there and has a first look on a video and goes, "Yeah, this is great," that means they either own a model that's like that, or they got really lucky.
Yeah,
we did get really
or
lucky.
they're getting paid.
Or they're getting paid.
Yeah.
Yeah. Sorry, I don't get paid.
Yeah,
if you want to pay me.
Yeah, better than that, send me the new TTI Combat that came out. Let me do a first look on that. So my first impressions on this, I love the trigger pull.
Okay.
I love the fact that if you want to show them the width of the back end.
Yeah, let me see here.
Kind of.
Oh, you're talking about like that?
That is, it's not wide, so it's a nice, compact. You can really, really tuck that away.
Oh yeah, compared to the Glock, it's huge.
Yeah, it's a ton smaller.
I almost could fit the.
You can almost fit in the mag well.
Almost fit it where the mag goes.
So the other thing that I like about it is you get good capacity in your magazine, saying 12 plus 1 in the pipe or 15 plus 1 in the pipe.
Yeah.
That is great capacity.
Yeah.
It feels like it runs smooth. Now, like I said, it is going to be a little bit snappy because it's got that shorter barrel.
I just locked it back, so if you could go through. Now this is a new gun. Okay, so you got to take into account that you're going to get used to where that actually snaps in and where you could lock the slide back. That's always, I don't care what firearm you use, you get used to that from the firearm. The difference is, and I'm going to compare the two here. Glock has this little nub Now, some of the newer models, this is an old firearm. The newer models have a little triangle there, and you can get that replaced. This one already has a triangle, and it's a lot more to grab hold of. I will say I give a plus to that too.
Yeah, it makes it a little bit easier than trying to hit a little nub.
Yeah, no joke. And let me flip it over here. And it's on both sides too.
So it's ambidextrous on the slide lock.
I don't have that on the Glock, so I can't. That's a plus.
Mm-hmm.
I think that's a yeah.
And,
okay.
Anymore, because most firearms are the same. It's little things like this.
Yeah.
Other things I really like about it. I like the charging indicator. I think that is, and we're gonna stick it between the two of us here. That charging indicator, I think that is a nice thing to have, especially for someone who isn't as experienced with firearms.
Right.
Like the round chambered indicator, again, a nice safety feature to let someone know that it is chambered.
Right.
My biggest complaint and my biggest wish that this had is I wish it had a high definition front sight. They give you the, we're not going to, there we go, we put it down a little bit. They give you the little white dot for the red sight, which it's functional, but I really like a high definition red sight or high definition front sight. It's easier to pick up when you punch that out.
Yeah. Here's the deal with it. That's
It's
such
changeable.
an easy switch out there. So out of the box, if they would have had that. Now here's the thing, adding that gonna be money.
Right.
So as cheap as this gun was to purchase,
Because I picked this up for $400. So
yeah, you can replace that sight for like $20, and you're still in it better than most any other gun.
I will definitely give this an A. Had they put a high def front sight on it from the factory, I'd give it an A+.
Well, let's. Okay, so that's what now 1 to 10. See,
Okay.
I like
10.
the A ratings. I like 1 to 10.
But that's because you never got them.
I got A's. I got a lot of A's. I prefer.
No, you
double
got a lot of
taps.
A.
I prefer double taps, but
All right.
no,
So 1 to 10.
1 to 10.
What 1 to 10? What do you think?
I would give it a 9.2. I give it a 9.2 because, and I'll give you a good reason. The biggest one for me was the teardown. I'm not very fond of the way it tore down compared to other firearms. Now, can I get used to it? Yes.
And that's what I was going to ask you. Is it just because it's different and it's the first time you've run into one that tears down like that, or is it just seemed like it's clunky and things don't fit right?
It seemed like it was. It seemed a little clunky to me. I know you can get used to it. It's going to be trial and error. I'm okay with the sights. The sights are not too bad. I also give it, and this is where we differ. Our opinions are different here.
Right.
I don't like the standard rear plate, because the more screws and stuff that you have on a firearm, the more things can get rattling, and as you shoot it can break down.
Right.
So what is a plus to you is actually a negative to me. I kudos you for doing it, but that's a couple more screws that in my opinion.
Right. And to me, I like the option.
Yeah.
And sometime in the near future, I'll bring in my gun that's a little bit more tricked out and is essentially my home defense piece, and we can talk about that and things that we like and don't like about it.
I guess I'm used to just not that many options. A firearm, when I get a firearm, I have that, and if I want to have that, I buy one that has it, or I have them drilled or something like that, or I buy the slide that's that way.
Mm-hmm.
Coming standard.
This comes pre-drilled for it, which is a nice option for most people to have.
Right. Sometimes too many options are a problem as well.
Mm-hmm.
It's like this room that we're in. If someone breaks in, I might die because I'm trying to figure out how I want to
which option you want to take.
Exactly. So I give it probably a 9.2. Okay. It's a good firearm. It feels nice. It feels steady, but I'm taking points off for those two.
It's not overly heavy. Even with a full mag, if you put the 15-round mag in there fully loaded, it's
at 9.2.
Yeah.
It's not.
I'll tell you what, I'm not going to break it down into that big of decimals. I'll go half points. I'll give it a 9 if it had the high definition front sight. I'd give it a 9.5.
Okay.
Yeah, I'll agree with you because we both, have been Glock people the majority of our lives, and most people out there are Glock people. The tear down and reassemble is going to take a little bit of time to get used to,
Yeah.
just because it is different. Nothing that is game changing where it's horrible, throw it away. But that's
No.
going to take a little bit to get used to. I like that a lot of it is ambidextrous because I do have left-handed friends that I like to go shooting with. So they'll appreciate that.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think overall, Canik, you did a great job with it. I like the fact that you don't just get a box and the gun in a plastic bag. You get everything that you're going to need to work on that firearm.
See, and that's why I jumped up to the 9 point. Now, if this did not come with all the accessories, and it came just not with a box in a little cardboard box,
Then it'd be a Smith & Wesson M&P.
I'd still give it a 7 or 8 because
Yeah.
I think that's still a pretty good gun. I think I gave it a little bit more because of the cool little
All the
toys.
extras that you get.
Yeah.
And again, that trigger pull is phenomenal. That's one of the best trigger pulls that I've experienced.
A lot like sex.
Yeah.
No,
Hey, that's a great woman right there.
that is.
So here's what we're going to do. We're going to go to the range, and we're going to put some rounds through this.
Okay.
Probably do an update at 200 rounds, and then do an update at 1,000 rounds. It's not going to get stripped, field cleaned, anything when we do that. We want to see how it functions. Do we get malfunctions? Everything like that, because it looks pretty, it feels pretty. Is it reliable? That's the true test.
Okay.
Because my concern with any firearm is, am I going to be able to use it in the time of need, or does it become a projectile?
If you forget to clean it one day, you get all gunked up. Yeah, I can see that. Okay. Cool.
All right.
All right. Well, good first impression.
Yes,
So,
I think it was a very good first impression. It got the second date.
I'd take it on the second date. I think we are going to take it on the second date.
Yeah, we're definitely going to take it on second date.
All right.
Inter
so
10 will be there soon.
Yeah, we're coming. So don't forget to check out our website, doubletap.com. Remember, that is 2A for a reason. Always be safe and shoot straight.
And we'll see you next time. All right, rock, paper, scissors.
We can't clean it. You said
That's right, we
200 rounds.
can't clean it.
That's it,
Never
people.
mind. No rock, paper, scissors this time.
Oh, well, that's fine. Hey,
Yeah.
that just means more work for someone else to do later.